Hello everyone. Today we will talk about performance management, rewards, and the law. Definition of reward systems. In recent years, the terminology surrounding employee compensation has evolved, leading to the broader concepts of rewards and total rewards. A reward system encompasses various mechanisms used to distribute both tangible and intangible benefits within the employment relationship. Tangible returns include monetary compensation such as base pay, cost of living adjustments, performance-based incentives, and various employee benefits. On the other hand, intangible returns involve aspects such as recognition, job security, the opportunity for personal growth, and the ability to engage in meaningful work. Components of the reward system. Tangible returns are often categorized into different types, beginning with base pay, which is the foundational salary given for the work performed. This compensation typically reflects the position rather than individual performance, ensuring that employees in similar roles receive comparable pay. Adjustments such as cost of living increases aim to maintain employees' purchasing power amid inflation and are applied uniformly across the board, irrespective of individual contributions to the organization. Conversely, contingent pay, or merit pay, links additional compensation to performance levels, rewarding top performers with more significant increases while lesser performers may see minimal or no increase. Short-term and long-term incentives. Further categorizing rewards. Short-term incentives provide temporary financial boosts for achieving specific targets, such as quarterly bonuses tied to performance metrics. Employees are aware of these incentives up front, allowing them to gauge their efforts accordingly. Long-term incentives, however, aim to foster sustained performance over time, often through mechanisms like stock options that align employees' interests with the company's success, thereby motivating them to perform well over more extended periods. Income protection and work-life balance. Beyond direct financial compensation, reward systems often include income protection measures that safeguard employees' earnings in instances of illness or disability. These programs can include employer-funded insurance plans and mandatory contributions to Social Security. Furthermore, organizations are increasingly recognizing the importance of work-life balance, offering benefits that promote flexibility and well-being. Examples include vacation time, counseling services, and flexible work schedules, which help employees manage personal responsibilities alongside their professional obligations. Relational returns and organizational culture. Relational or intangible returns play a crucial role in shaping an employee's overall experience at a company. These returns encompass recognition, job security, and opportunities for personal development, which are essential for fostering a positive work environment. Companies like Sun Microsystems exemplify this by providing extensive educational resources to enhance employee skills and career progression. The organizational culture is often reflected in how these various returns are prioritized. Organizations that emphasize performance-related rewards typically cultivate a more competitive and achievement-oriented atmosphere, whereas those with a holistic focus on employee well-being may foster collaboration and loyalty. Traditional pay plans. In many organizations, the approach to employee remuneration has traditionally focused on the specific positions employees fill, as defined by their job descriptions, rather than their individual performance. In this traditional pay system, salaries are primarily determined by organizational hierarchy and seniority, with each position having a defined pay range that includes minimum, midpoint, and maximum salary values. For instance, in a university setting, the roles of instructors, senior instructors, and professors have distinct pay ranges based on their ranks. An assistant professor, for example, might have a salary range from $80,000 to $110,000, with increments typically awarded based on longevity rather than performance metrics such as teaching effectiveness or research contributions. This system emphasizes stability and predictability, where salary increases are often uniform across employees in similar roles. Consequently, an assistant professor may reach the ceiling of their salary range without any consideration for performance, even if they produce exceptional results. Such rigid structures create a weak link between performance management and reward allocation, resulting in a lack of motivation for employees to excel beyond their job descriptions. Contingent pay plans. In contrast, contingent pay (CP) plans, also referred to as pay for performance systems, shift the focus to rewarding employees based on their job performance. Under this model, salary increases and bonuses are directly correlated with individual contributions and results, incentivizing employees to excel in their roles. Initially limited to top management and sales positions, the use of CP plans has expanded significantly. As of 2001, around 70% of U.S. workers were involved in organizations that employed some form of variable pay tied to performance outcomes. For example, if two assistant professors are hired at the same base salary, the one who consistently delivers better teaching and research performance can see their salary increase significantly over time, potentially exceeding that of their peers in higher ranks. This dynamic allows high performers to command salaries that reflect their contributions, thereby creating a more meritocratic environment compared to traditional systems. Implications for performance management. The growing prevalence of contingent pay plans signifies a broader cultural shift within organizations towards valuing performance. This transition underscores the importance of effective performance management systems that can provide reliable and fair assessments of individual contributions. As organizations move from traditional to contingent pay models, they often find improved employee engagement and motivation, thanks to clearer connections between rewards and performance. Ultimately, the choice between traditional and contingent pay plans reflects an organization's values and strategic goals. While traditional systems may suit environments valuing stability and seniority, contingent pay models are increasingly favored in dynamic sectors that prioritize performance and individual accountability. The evolution of these approaches indicates a recognition that rewarding employees based on merit can enhance both individual and organizational outcomes. Reasons for introducing contingent pay plans. Organizations are increasingly adopting contingent pay (CP) plans due to several compelling reasons. One significant factor is supported by survey findings from Fortune 500 companies, which indicate that performance management systems become more effective when directly tied to reward structures. This correlation encourages organizations to clearly define effective performance, outlining expected behaviors and results, and communicating what is essential for success. This clarity enhances both supervisor and employee understanding, fostering a focused environment where performance improvements are prioritized. Attraction and retention of talent. Another key driver for implementing CP plans is the sorting effect, wherein high achievers are drawn to and remain in organizations that recognize and reward superior performance. Top performers are generally more attracted to environments where their contributions directly influence their compensation. This dynamic is crucial for companies aiming to secure a competitive advantage by retaining their best talent. For instance, a study at a glass installation company revealed a remarkable 44% productivity increase after shifting from a fixed salary model to individual incentives. Half of this improvement resulted from current employees working harder, while the other half stemmed from attracting more skilled workers who left less productive jobs. Motivation and performance enhancement. Moreover, CP plans significantly boost employee motivation to align individual goals with organizational needs. These plans not only incentivize performance improvements, but also directly influence employees' behaviors. For example, if an organization seeks to enhance customer satisfaction, implementing a CP plan that rewards employees for improving satisfaction ratings will likely produce better results than a traditional plan that does not connect pay to performance. Research shows that incorporating individual pay incentives can result in productivity increases averaging 30%, demonstrating a tangible link between contingent rewards and improved results. Understanding motivation dynamics. The effectiveness of CP plans hinges on the interplay of three factors: expectancy, instrumentality, and valence. Expectancy refers to employees' belief that their efforts will lead to improved performance. Instrumentality is the perception that achieving a certain performance level will yield desired rewards. Valence reflects the value employees place on those rewards. These factors must align. Otherwise, the effectiveness of CP plans diminishes. For example, if employees believe that their efforts will not translate into rewards, they are less likely to exert the necessary effort to perform well. Limitations of CP plans. It is crucial to note that while CP plans can effectively enhance motivation, they are not a panacea for performance issues. They primarily address malleable motivation, state motivation, rather than addressing deeper-rooted problems such as a lack of knowledge or skills. For instance, employees may be motivated by financial rewards but still lack the necessary training to meet performance expectations. Therefore, organizations must ensure that adequate support and resources are in place alongside CP plans to foster true performance improvement. Possible problems associated with contingent pay plans. While contingent pay (CP) plans can enhance motivation and productivity, they are not without pitfalls. Several high-profile corporate scandals highlight the potential issues associated with CP plans, such as the case of Wells Fargo, where employees were incentivized to meet unrealistic sales targets, leading to unethical behaviors. Reasons CP plans may fail. Poor performance management systems. A poorly designed performance management system can lead to biased ratings and irrelevant performance measurements, causing legal challenges and disillusionment among high performers who leave the organization. The folly of rewarding A while hoping for B. When organizations reward outcomes that do not align with their broader objectives, employees may engage in counterproductive behaviors. For example, if executives are rewarded for quarterly earnings rather than long-term growth, they are likely to prioritize short-term gains over sustainable success. Insignificant rewards. If the rewards in a CP plan are perceived as trivial, they fail to motivate employees. For example, if top performers receive only slightly higher increases than average performers, this can diminish the perceived value of performance-based rewards. Lack of manager accountability. When managers are not held accountable for their evaluation processes, they may inflate performance ratings, undermining the integrity of the CP plan and leading to unrealistic expectations. Extrinsic motivation undermining intrinsic motivation. An overemphasis on external rewards can lead employees to lose interest in their work, especially if the tasks become motivations solely for financial gain. This shift may diminish the intrinsic rewards that come from job satisfaction and engagement. Disproportionate executive rewards. Significant gaps between executive compensation and that of average employees can create morale issues. When leaders receive vast financial rewards despite mediocre organizational performance, it can lead to resentment among employees. Selecting a contingent pay plan. When an organization decides to implement a contingent pay (CP) plan, it is crucial to carefully consider various factors to ensure the plan is effective and aligns with both organizational goals and culture. One of the most significant factors is the existing organizational culture. Understanding whether the organization values individual performance or teamwork is essential. In a traditional culture, characterized by top-down decision-making and clearly defined roles, CP plans should focus on structured rewards. Individual incentives, such as piece rates for production or sales commissions for retail employees, can motivate performance effectively. Conversely, in an involvement culture that emphasizes collaboration and shared decision-making, organizations might benefit from systems like skill-based pay or profit sharing, which enhance collective success and encourage skill development. Aligning the CP plan with the organization's strategic objectives is another critical consideration. For instance, if employee development is a key priority, the plan should reward skill acquisition and learning. If customer service is paramount, then linking incentives to customer satisfaction ratings through gain sharing can motivate employees to improve service quality. Additionally, if the organization aims to maximize profits, executive compensation structures, such as profit sharing or stock options, should align senior leaders' interests with shareholder value, encouraging long-term thinking and success. The type of incentives used in the CP plan is also vital. Organizations need to decide on the appropriate mix of individual, team, and organizational level incentives. Individual level incentives can drive personal accountability and achievement, particularly in competitive environments. Team level incentives, on the other hand, promote collaboration and shared goals, fostering a sense of unity among employees. At the organizational level, profit-sharing mechanisms can encourage all staff to contribute to broader company objectives, ultimately driving overall success. Moreover, evidence-based reward distribution should guide the CP plan to ensure effectiveness. Research indicates that performance-based reward systems yield better results than equal distribution models. Companies like Google exemplify this approach by rewarding top performers appropriately while motivating others to strive for improvement. This method reinforces a culture of meritocracy, emphasizing that rewards should reflect actual contributions rather than simply time served. Finally, organizations must be cognizant of the potential risks and ethical considerations that accompany CP plans. Unintended consequences, such as the pursuit of unethical practices, can arise if rewards are not structured thoughtfully. The Wells Fargo scandal serves as a cautionary tale of how aggressive sales targets can lead employees to engage in misleading behaviors. Additionally, Ensuring that rewards are perceived as fair and significant is crucial to maintaining morale. Disparities in compensation, especially if executive pay appears excessively large compared to that of average employees, can lead to resentment and disengagement. Putting pay in context. Historically, the prevailing belief was that financial compensation was the primary motivator for employees. Money was seen as the sole reason individuals sought employment, driving them to work solely for paychecks. However, in the 21st century, a broader understanding of motivation has emerged. While pay undoubtedly remains an essential factor, serving as the foundation for fulfilling basic needs, such as food and shelter, as well as aspirations for education and retirement, people increasingly seek more from their work environments. Employees desire trust, respect, meaningful relationships, and engaging tasks. Moreover, work-life balance has become particularly important, especially for younger generations like millennials, with many expressing a willingness to accept lower pay for a better work-home equilibrium. This shift in perspective highlights that pay is just one element among many that influence employee motivation and satisfaction. While financial compensation impacts productivity and performance, individuals also seek meaningful experiences in their work lives. Organizations that focus solely on monetary rewards risk alienating their workforce and facing decreased loyalty, as employees may view monetary incentives as a form of bribery rather than genuine acknowledgement of their contributions. Thus, companies must understand that rewards encompass more than just financial compensation. They should recognize a variety of motivators that engage employees effectively. To ensure that an organization's rewards are perceived as meaningful, several best practices must be implemented. First, a comprehensive performance management system should define and measure employee performance before rewards are allocated. Organizations often misinterpret reward-related problems as issues with compensation when they are, in fact, rooted in how performance is defined and assessed. Additionally, organizations should only promise rewards they can deliver, adjusting expectations based on available resources to focus on intangible rewards when budgets are tight. Equity in rewards is another crucial consideration. When only top executives receive lucrative benefits, it can demoralize other employees. By extending eligibility for rewards to a broader range of staff based on performance, organizations create a culture of aspiration that motivates all employees to strive for excellence. Transparency is also important. Both tangible and intangible rewards should be visible, helping employees understand what is required to earn future rewards. Timeliness is vital in reward distribution. Rewards should be given shortly after the desired behavior or results are observed to reinforce the connection between performance and recognition. Organizations might consider implementing immediate rewards, such as spot bonuses or informal recognition, to enhance motivation. Finally, rewards should be designed to be reversible. Variable pay structures, which do not permanently alter base salaries, allow organizations to provide ongoing incentives while mitigating the long-term costs associated with raising base pay without clear performance justification. Non-financial rewards also play a significant role in motivating employees. Recognition and praise can be powerful incentives that sometimes outweigh financial compensation. Many organizations overlook the importance of these relational rewards, which can include formal commendations, public acknowledgement, and opportunities for personal development. When properly utilized, Non-financial rewards can enhance employee engagement and satisfaction, particularly in roles that may offer lower monetary compensation. For instance, companies like SAS Institute demonstrate that a strong workplace culture and non-financial benefits, such as opportunities for professional development, state-of-the-art resources, and a supportive community, can significantly reduce turnover, despite not offering the highest salaries. Such environments foster commitment and motivation, illustrating that employees often value job satisfaction and a positive workplace culture as much as, if not more than, financial compensation. Performance management systems, while primarily designed to improve employee performance and organizational productivity, must also align with legal standards to avoid discrimination and unfair treatment. Although legal issues are not always explicitly discussed, the implementation of fair and standardized procedures in performance management tends to lead to legally sound systems. A fundamental principle to guide this fairness is the consistent application of the same rules and procedures for all employees. When employees clearly understand the rules and see them applied uniformly, the performance management system is perceived as fair, which also helps in meeting legal requirements. Legal frameworks across countries such as the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom emphasize minimizing discriminatory outcomes in performance management by adhering to this golden rule. Treat everyone equally regardless of characteristics like sex, ethnicity, or other demographics that do not affect job performance. This principle extends beyond national borders and is crucial for multinational companies implementing performance management systems across diverse geographic locations. By ensuring equal treatment, organizations can reduce risks of legal challenges tied to discrimination. The growing economic significance of China highlights an interesting case of legal influence on performance management. The Chinese government recognizes the productivity and competitive advantages that effective performance management can offer. Consequently, it has pushed reforms to modernize labor relations, such as granting employers more rights to terminate employees based on performance. This environment has nurtured innovative performance management practices in leading Chinese firms, many of which mirror systems used in the US. For instance, companies like Ufiden and Shanda use performance-based salary adjustments and have formalized evaluation processes that include multi-source feedback and performance-linked bonuses, reflecting a legal and managerial evolution in China. Despite this increasing global awareness and the existence of guidelines like the Golden Rule, many organizations still do not fully apply these principles, leading to higher legal risks. This is evident in the notable rise of employment discrimination lawsuits in the US. A 100% increase was seen from 1995 to 2005, with many cases involving performance management-related issues. In 2016 alone, the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission received over 91,000 discrimination charges, spanning race, age, national origin, and other protected categories. Performance management systems are often subject to legal scrutiny, especially when disputes arise regarding how they are implemented. 6 important legal concepts frequently arise in litigation related to these systems: employment at will, negligence, defamation, misrepresentation, adverse impact, and illegal discrimination. Employment at will means either the employer or employee can end the job relationship at any time without cause. This gives employers significant freedom in managing and terminating employees based on performance. However, Exceptions exist where an implied contract or public policy considerations require just cause for termination. For example, in a court case involving Sprint Nextel, a supervisor used inconsistent performance measures and unfair practices that led to wrongful termination despite the equal provision, and the court sided with the employee. This highlights that employment at will does not grant employers unlimited power if unfair or inconsistent procedures are followed. Negligence in performance management occurs when employers fail to implement their documented policies correctly. For instance, if an organization's performance appraisal procedures aren't followed, an employee might challenge unfair evaluations on these grounds. In the 2015 case of a school principal dismissed for poor performance, the court found the employer negligent because the performance standards and evaluation methods were ambiguous and inconsistently applied, requiring the employee's reinstatement. Defamation involves the communication of untrue and damaging information about an employee, damaging their reputation. This can happen if irrelevant or false negative performance information is shared during evaluations or with third parties. For instance, an employee successfully sued a healthcare system when unrelated personal activities were disparagingly included in a performance review, harming her reputation. Misrepresentation is related but involves giving false positive information about an employee's performance, which can harm others. Employers can be liable if they provide overly positive recommendations despite knowing about serious problems. A notable case involved a school vice principal with misconduct allegations who was nevertheless recommended by former employers, exposing those employers to legal liability for negligent misrepresentation. Adverse impact refers to unintentional discrimination when a performance system disproportionately harms a protected group, like based on sex or race. This kind of impact requires the employer to prove that the evaluated traits are job-related and essential, business necessity. For example, if female firefighters receive lower ratings for physical strength, the fire department must justify that physical strength is a critical job element. Organizations should regularly analyze performance data by demographic groups to detect and correct adverse impact. Illegal discrimination or disparate treatment occurs when performance ratings or decisions are intentionally biased against employees based on protected characteristics like age, sex, race, or ethnicity. This results in unfair training, feedback, or promotion opportunities. For example, an age discrimination case involved an employer applying stricter performance standards selectively to older workers to force them out. Employees alleging discrimination need to prove they belong to a protected class, suffered a negative employment decision, like being passed over for promotion, and had a performance level warranting the positive outcome. Employers then must justify their decisions with legitimate, performance-related reasons. A key distinction in discrimination law is between illegal discrimination and legal discrimination. Legal discrimination means distinguishing employees based on actual performance differences, which is necessary and valid for performance systems to function. Illegal discrimination occurs when decisions are based on irrelevant demographic factors, violating equal employment laws. In recent decades, many countries have enacted laws prohibiting discrimination in the workplace based on characteristics such as race, color, religion, sex, including pregnancy, gender identity, national origin, age, usually 40 or older, disability, or genetic information. In the United States, key legislation includes the Equal Pay Act of 1963, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Title VII, the Age Discrimination in Employment Act, the Pregnancy Discrimination Act, the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, and the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act, GINA. These laws are enforced primarily through the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Similar anti-discrimination laws exist worldwide, including in Canada, Australia, Germany, and Spain, reflecting a global trend toward ensuring fairness and equity in employment practices. These laws collectively require organizations to establish performance management systems that are applied consistently to all employees without consideration of irrelevant personal characteristics. The focus must remain on job-related performance factors rather than any demographic traits. While enforcement levels vary by country, the overall intent of these laws is to prevent discrimination through fair and objective evaluation processes. Designing legally defensible performance management systems aligns closely with fundamental best practices, which emphasize clarity, consistency, and fairness in assessing employee performance. For multinational organizations, navigating the application of legal requirements becomes more complex. Questions arise about which countries' laws apply, depending on the work location, the employer's status, whether US-based or foreign, the employee's citizenship, and international treaties. For example, U.S. laws might not apply to foreign employers operating in the U.S. if treaties provide exemptions, nor to employees working abroad for foreign employers, even if the employee is a U.S. citizen. Yet, U.S. laws can apply to abroad-based work if the employer is U.S.-based and compliance does not conflict with local laws. Research on U.S. court decisions regarding performance management litigation highlights several factors that increase legal defensibility. Systems that clearly focus on job-related performance criteria, provide raters with written guidelines, and allow employees to review their appraisals are more likely to withstand legal scrutiny. Furthermore, employees' perceptions of fairness and due process strongly influence judicial outcomes. This underlines a key recommendation throughout performance management practice. Involving employees in the system's design and implementation fosters perceptions of fairness. While fairness does not guarantee compliance with the law, it significantly reduces legal risks by encouraging transparency and consistency.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to channel.